Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Booked, a place to explore the realms of creativity. Today's guest is author of Loose Ends, Oliver Hurst. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited you're here. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for having me. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I've been looking forward to this for so long. I read your book some years ago. Years?
Yes.
How long has it been? It's been years.
Year brackets.
Yeah, more
Yeah.
than a year ago. And then the book, which you can see here if you're watching this on YouTube. It's like Bookception. It's amazing. If you could see this copy has gone from England to Texas with me. After being briefly borrowed by my grandma, and then she passed it on to one of her friends because she thought it was amazing and passed it on to somebody. So it's done the rounds. This is a well-loved copy of this book. I'd just like to say. So if that's not enough of an advert for you, then what do you want? My grandma liked it.
Better than this one. This one just sits on the shelf in the living room.
It's your trophy.
Well, that's it. It's got its little stand, as you can see, and it just sits on a little shelf like,
See, I haven't got a stand. I've just balanced that. So if that decks it at any point, hopefully there's no ghosts.
My original plan was I was going to put it up on, as you can see, on my oven here, and then obviously someone with more common sense said, no, you have a stand, moron. Use that.
Oh, we could have made a Cooking the Books reference.
Next time.
I missed a pun. It's okay. We can do. Yeah, let's start this again. Anyway, we should probably go on to the interview.
We'll cut that out.
So, for those who don't know you and perhaps haven't heard of Loose Ends or Oliver Hurst, can you tell the listeners a little bit about you and what to expect from your book?
Well, okay, so I'm Oliver. This is my first book, Loose Ends. It is, to put it in the basic terms, a crime thriller novel about Matthew Bartimaeus, a blind hitman who is unfortunately betrayed by the criminal gang that employ him. They're tying up their loose ends, thus the title. Mm-hmm. And in so obviously, one can imagine you're not too happy about that. So it's a tale of not only him seeking revenge for being betrayed, but he has to team up with an undercover detective, Zoe Garland, to protect her, get the information she has to the right people, while the criminal gang are after them, crooked police are after them, other mysterious figures are after them. It's a lot of chasing, there's quite a lot of action scenes in it, and I'm glad people like to read it.
It's excellent. I love it when an action scene is easy to follow when I'm reading it, and you do a really, really good job with the fight scenes. Because sometimes I'm like, wait, who hit who now? But you're very good at writing fight scenes. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Thank you. That comes down from acting them out while I'm typing them to think, now, who would do that? Okay, then they would move. Okay, let's try and put that into words.
Do you wear costumes? And do you wear sunglasses to imagine that you can't see?
No, I don't wear the costumes and I haven't worn sunglasses, but I have moved around with my eyes shut to try and imagine what one would do and how it might feel to try and get a better understanding of that.
Cool. Method writing. I don't know if that's a thing. It is now. We've invented it. Well, you've invented it. I just gave it a name.
Pattern that.
Yeah, there we go. I'll make sure to do that before the episode goes live.
We'll make our millions from one word.
So, in terms of your creative process, I know that you have completed book 2, but it's in the sort of editing phase. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm having it read now because it'll still need a bit of work. I think I'd like to make it a bit longer, so I'm having someone read it now to. I'm going to get my wife to read it so she can tell me because she'll be honest, brutally, if she needs to be, about what works and what doesn't work. So let her read it, and she can give me her feedback and think, okay, what do we need to change? So hopefully it won't take too long. But book 2 is almost finished. There's a version of it. We just need now to get it perfect, worthy enough to follow the first one.
Big shoes to fill, but I believe in you because you filled the shoes before. So
Thank you.
You can fill them again. So I know that I follow you on Twitter. I will always call it that. Don't correct me.
Let's not change it.
You write frequently. Like you
Yes.
seem to be very. I don't know if it's scheduled, if it's something that you make yourself do every day. You seem very consistent, and I'm envious of that. Are you actually, or is it all a lie for social media?
Oh God, no, I'm not that kind of person. No, it's not scheduled. I just try because I'll sometimes get up early in the morning before everyone else does. Have a bit of a routine of some exercise, some quiet time, and I think, okay, I've got 30 minutes. Let's spit out a couple of paragraphs or a page. And then same in the afternoon, I might be at work. I've got some time between client appointments or my lunch break thing, pen and paper. Why not now? It's just finding the time to squeeze it in where I can. Because if I don't do it then, you can never, as not everyone can organise the time. There's life, so you just got to find the time to go. I've got 10 minutes. Let's get some words down.
Do you always feel inspired to actually write something of worth, or is it sometimes just the act of writing helps you keep your foot in the door?
Oh, definitely just the act of writing. I think any writer anyone who's written a book, a story, anything, will look at some of the stuff they've gone, this is garbage. What was I thinking? But just the act of writing was enough to sort of say, okay, good, it's still coming, there's still ideas, something's working. And then you can look back at it and go, yeah, no, we're going to change all this, or some of it works, or I'll keep that.
So are you quite organised in your thought processes? Is it something that you keep track of? Do you just have like a running commentary of the book and then you organise it later? Is there a spreadsheet?
Oh, I'm not that organised, no. There's an idea in the head, like book 3, like I've just started now, has the most bare bones idea at the moment, and with the first 2, I have the bare bones of it, and I'm just going to start writing and see what comes and what forms, and it may change drastically. I mean, with the whole idea of these stories, I have in my head an idea for 6 as an overall overarching 1 to 6 stories, and I know again the very basics of what I want to happen in each one. The ending, I've got that's set. I know what I'm going to do with that, but it will be okay. Here's the idea. How do we get the beginning to the end to then link to the other ones so there's could all be one continuous story? And I'll figure that out as I get to the keyboard.
Interesting. So, having already plotted out 6 separate books, what has made you to decide to split them into those 6 stories? Are they like standalone events that happen that are important to keep separate, or have you been tempted to like smush them together and have a really fat book?
There was a temptation to cut out one of them completely, just to try and maybe condense it as such. But I wanted where the end goal is. I didn't think it would make sense to just go from where the first book is set in London to where I want the last book to be set. It would be kind of that's quite a journey they've taken just to get there for that. So whereas doing it in 6 stories, so like I can be upfront. Book 2 is set in Paris. Book 3 is in Berlin.
Okay.
4 will actually be set back in London, but that's its own separate thing. And then 5 will be in. I haven't decided either to set it in Venice or Rome, so I'm still debating. Because I've been to one, I haven't been to Venice, so maybe go to the city I've actually visited. And the last book will be in Istanbul.
Cool.
So I did think going from London to Istanbul between maybe 1 or 2 books is quite a trek across Europe, so I didn't think that would be worth doing.
I don't know if you've seen Killing Eve, but they jump all over the place like in one episode, so you might get away with it.
Yeah, possibly.
I haven't read the books, to be truthful.
No, I haven't either.
No, I need to.
Shame on me.
So is it a linear story? Is it something where you're just following this same adventure just across? It's okay if you can't tell me. Or does it time jump?
There's no time jumps. Book 3 and 4, if I stick to the idea in my head, will run side by side each other. So there will be sort of a difference between those 2 books. But they're otherwise, it's kind of like a TV series where each episode is its own separate story, but there's the overall link between. Think of it like the early MCU. So they were building towards the first Avengers movie. So every movie up to that point was its own movie, but it links to that one in that way. That one links to this one in this way. Oh, we're at the big bad.
Cool. I like it. It's fascinating to me that you already know where it's going to go. Do you have like a goal in time, like in terms of when these will come out, or are you just hoping that it will be pretty consistent?
I'd like to think it'd be consistent. Really, I haven't got a time. I think the problem is unless the publisher turns around and says, "Okay, we want to get it done and out by this month," then it's kind of like, "Oh, I better get writing." But to not have that pressure does at least sort of give the freedom to. I can can take my time and not rush this or squeeze it in to try and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no, at the moment, no time scale. But if it came to it where, they want, someone says to me, all right, we want to get these books out, but you need to get it done now, then let's do it. Let's crack on.
Your publisher seems really nice. It seems like you've got a really good relationship there. It's nice to see, because I know that having a publisher behind you is a lot of writers' dream. That's very, very exciting, and I'm super pleased for you. Was that hard to get?
I can't remember the time scale of how long it took. I was doing, I think at one point, every day for maybe a month, 2 months of just, because a friend of mine kindly gave me this, like, that thick book of publishers and agents and everything to do with writing, not only just books, but like non-fiction, magazines. And so I was going through that and then just like Googling, okay, you're accepting applicants for stories or agencies, and I'd just be submitting 3 or 4 a day until eventually my current publisher, Austin McCauley, said, we like it, let's go for it.
That's very cool. Very cool. I love a happy ending. I like dark endings, but not when it comes to people's dreams.
No, well, I was about to say depends on the person, but no, I shouldn't say that. That's wrong.
Oh, it does depend on the person. So the choice of Matthew being a blind hitman, was it inspired in any way by Daredevil?
No, and a few people have asked that or pointed out. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of that character in the TV show and even the Ben Affleck movie. I think it's a fun movie. But no, I knew that there would be the associations with it, but there was no way. There was never any direct. Oh yeah, I bet I could do that as well. And it was because when I first started, I was just writing scenes, just thinking, oh, this could be fun, and then that's when it snowballed. But I didn't think, could it be done, or how would one go about it? And then just sort of make it a challenge for yourself. Could a blind person in theory do it? And I mean, I'm not, God forbid I'd lose my eyesight in any way, apart from the deterioration that we have with glasses. I thought I can do it justice. And yeah, I'd like to think I have done. I know someone who, a friend of ours is, unfortunately, she's blind, and she's read the book. I have to say it without sounding insensitive. She's listened to it because she can't read it, and she gave really nice feedback. Said she really enjoyed it. So there was nothing to turn around and say, "What nonsense was this? This was all wrong."
It's always good to know that the people that you've represented within your work has been respectful, because, I mean, he's a badass, like a really, really cool character. And I think it goes to show that if myself and other people have likened the idea to this particular, fictional character that already exists, it just goes to show there is not enough representation. Because nothing else came to mind that I've seen in mainstream. I know there's going to be others, but nothing came to mind that's in mainstream that I thought action-packed. Super cool person.
The only other one I saw was I never finished it for this reason. It was just before this came out, I think. John Wick 4 came out, and there was, if I remember it, there was a blind character in that.
Oh, really?
And I thought, oh, okay. And then I was watching the film, I thought, oh no, God, are people going to read mine and think I've ripped this off, or have I compared it? So I turned the film off because I can't watch it now. That's all that's going to be in my head now. I was thinking, I've done it wrong. They've done it better. So I have no idea what happens in that movie.
It's that's fine. I only watched the first one recently, and I'm so angry at myself that I didn't get to enjoy this earlier in my life, because it's fantastic.
They're good movies. Yeah.
Amazing. Cut yourself some slack. It's not like you can't rip something off just because it simply exists. It's in a different space. And to take inspiration, like, let's say, for example, there's a romance book that somebody's writing that is very, very similar to another romance book where they meet on a bridge, and it's the same thing. It's just people's different experiences. So for you to be able to tell a different story using inspiration from life, then that is not a bad thing. It's not ripping things off.
Oh, thank you.
Be nice to yourself. I won't have that. So, I know earlier you mentioned that you sometimes would sort of navigate the house, taking away your own sight so that you could, which is important because you're then able to put that into words and give a good description for the reader. Is there any other research that you did for the book that sort of helped you to give it sort of a more realistic life. So not just in Matthew's traits, but also like the policing world and things like that.
Oh yeah, I mean my uncle and my aunt were both police officers, and actually now their son, my cousin, works for the Met Police. So
That's cool.
listening to their stories and sort of observing them, they still carry themselves in the sort of way as a police officer would. That seems to be naturally in them. I just sort of observed them, took some of the stuff they've talked about and told me, so I used that. And then also my uncle on my other side was in the military. So again, I sort of just occasionally sort of look at him. How does he move? How does he talk? And sort of use some of how their body language, how they sort of interact with other people, and how they carry themselves. Okay, that's how one of those people would move. Okay, let's use that then and try and put that in the story.
Was it always going to be an action book? I mean, it's not simply an action book, but it's full of it.
Yeah, it's because there's not exclusively the kind of stories I like myself, but I like those kind of movies and those kind of stories, and they hold my attention in that way. And I know people say, write what you know, and I know nothing about killing people, for the record, just to stress that. But, I can't do romance. The wife will tell you I'm not a romantic. I tried to be, but I'm bad at it. So I couldn't write those kind of novels. And I don't think I have I don't want to say I don't have the creativity, but science fiction, anyone who can write a science fiction novel, I have absolutely massive respect for, because they are creating, and fantasy as well, a completely new world. I mean, mine is just based in the real world-ish. But if you can take a science fiction or fantasy, just here is this universe, these races, these characters, I think, where did you get that idea from?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's mad respect. Seriously, I can't do it. I have to. I'm very similar to you. I have to write things that I've experienced and feel and that excites me. Otherwise, I'm not motivated to do it. And I think it's something that I've heard many people say, is to write the book that you would want to read, and then the people will not follow, but you know what I mean, the readers will be interested. And it definitely shows in the end work, because if you write something because you're forcing yourself to do it because you think it's the right thing to do, you're not necessarily going to get the same richness in the story and the writing as if you just wrote something that you were just really jazzed about writing.
Exactly. I've always thought, if you don't like what you've written, no one else is going to like reading it, so why bother? Get rid of it, or just do something that you will enjoy writing, even if it's be weird, be different, do something that you think is just bizarre, because someone's going to go, this is awesome.
Yeah, right. There is a reader for everyone. I strongly believe this. I will never ever give somebody a review that has less than 5 stars, because I don't believe in the star rating system. I think it's absolute bollocks, and I will say that until I'm blue in the face. I don't agree with the star rating system because it's so arbitrary and subjective. So I won't bring somebody's star rating down. So if anybody looks at my Goodreads, they'll be like, she has absolutely no taste, because it's just all over the place, because I've read so many different kinds of books. But I truly believe that I can find something that I like in everybody's book. And what I didn't realize until really recently is that Loose Ends is technically, to me, an indie book, because Austen Macaulay are an independent publisher. And I read this way before I went into this endeavor, whatever you want to label this project. And I didn't really put 2 and 2 together. Yeah, and it was, I don't know, it was cool, because it kind of stood out to me as being this like really fantastic book. I didn't even give it a second thought. So anyway, there's a compliment in there somewhere. I very much liked it.
That's good. I'm glad you did. It'd be a bit awkward for this podcast if you said, shit. Oh.
I wouldn't ever say that to anyone. I wouldn't. I don't have the I don't have it in me to be mean to people. I can't do it.
No, I get that, and especially when someone's put into, someone's written a song, someone's written a poem or a book or created a game, and you sort of think they've probably put not only hours of their personal time, but a lot of themselves into this. If you turn around and go, oh shit, dude, what the hell, man? Why would you do that to a human being?
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, I totally agree. I've said this almost every single episode. Giving anyone the opportunity to look at something that you've created, whatever form of art that is so vulnerable. And if you're douche about it, and you're like, that's shit. It's just not for you. Go away.
You don't have to stick with it. It's like when people, best example I can think of is, do you remember the Jerry Springer opera? Did you ever hear of that or watch it?
No.
Oh,
What?
oh, seek it out. It's fantastic.
Okay.
It's a Jerry Springer musical. It was brilliant. Basically, I think if the basic plot of it was during one of the shows, he's killed and goes to hell, and it's like you're now meets the devil, and it's like you're going on trial, or we're going to do like your Jerry Springer show in hell, and that's I've probably gone off a bit. So if anyone knows I've got it wrong, please correct me. But
That's funny.
the BBC years ago, I mean, I must have been about we're going nearly 20 years ago, broadcast it. And I remember it was going to be. I was like, oh, I want to watch this, so I'm going to watch it. And it's just before it started, it said, "Big screen warning: this show contains foul language, scenes of that's blasphemy, sexual content, drugs, alcohol. This is, be warned. This is going to be some very serious, offensive stuff." I think you could not have been more clear. The next day, the BBC had the most complaints they've received in years. And I thought, why did you watch it if you're upset? Well, just, you turn it off. I can't understand someone would sit down and go, well, this is outrageous. Well, I better finish it.
Honestly, I think some people just love getting pissed off.
Just keep your opinion to yourself sometimes. You're entitled to an opinion, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you've got to think, you know what? Nah, I'm done.
I think people lack, not people in general, just like this small pocket of people, because I will say the majority of people that I've come into contact with have been very nice. Especially in the writing world. Generally speaking, people are very kind to each other and very supportive. However, what was I going to say? I can't remember. People lack a specific filter that says, am I going to help or hinder? And then they just ignore that question. And if your goal is to hinder somebody in their progress, why? And what does that say about you as a person? If it's constructive and it's been asked for, that's one thing. But if you're just being a douche for no reason, it's like, go, just do your own thing. If you don't like it, write something that you do like, and then put that out.
If you can do it better, go for it.
Be the change that you want to see in the world.
Yeah. But as you said before, write the book that you want then. Okay, then this one wasn't for you. Go do what you want to read then. Or just keep your opinion on the one you didn't like to yourself.
Exactly. I'm glad we agree. Otherwise this would have been a really awkward conversation. Next
question is, what books don't you like? Well, I'll tell you which one is really shitty.
Who is the worst writer ever? No, I'm kidding. So something that I did want to ask is, so this book is in third person.
Yes.
Was it always going to be in third person, or was that a conversation that you had with yourself? Because I've had an issue with my own book, and I'm just curious about your experience.
Yeah, it was always going to be the third person, because that's the kind of book I like to read as well. I find that easier. I've only read, actually, if I'm correct, 2 books that were in the first person. And I guess the first one would be the Hunger Games trilogy, because they're in the first person, and I read them, and I had no problem with it. I thought that actually adds to the story. This makes sense. I can get it. But I did read the first Jack Reacher book, and that, unlike the rest of the series, is in the first person. So obviously he made a tweak between books, and it didn't pull me in. I really wanted to like it. I thought, I really want to read this series, and I'm reading the other books, and I love them. But the first one, I thought, this first person, it didn't appeal to me in that book. I know it will for some, and that's great, but writing it as well, I knew I would get in a muddle. So for the third person, I can simply go, they said, she said, he said, done. If I was doing it from the perspective of the first person, at some point, I knew I would get it wrong, and suddenly someone's going, hey, hold on, have you changed? Who's talking now? This makes no sense. So I kept it simple for me.
Yeah, I do think that was the right choice, because you're able to give an overview of like a scene, especially with something like a fight scene or an action scene. You're able to give the full picture rather than just the perspective of that one person that you're talking about at the time. So that makes a lot of sense. I wrote the first probably 30,000 words of my book in third person and then changed it.
Whoa.
Like a fool. So it doesn't like change halfway through. I rewrote it in first because I thought I don't feel what this character's feeling, and I don't like that. And that's the purpose of one of the things I want people to get from the book, is to go, oh, this is uncomfortable, because they're in their head. So yeah, it's just interesting to see people's choices, because there are sometimes people will go for a third person, but it detaches you from enjoying the story. It doesn't for loose ends. Will say I think it was the perfect choice, but I was just curious and a little bit nosy, to be honest.
Did you rewrite the whole thing, or did you just go through and edit it and change it to the first person, or did you just sort of write no?
I rewrote the whole thing.
Wow.
Because it was different. It was a different story. It was
Rather
than being like this person drove down the road and this thing happened. Blah blah. Obviously, it's better than that, but I hope anyway. But I had to add quite a lot of emotion into the first person that it was really missing, and it felt really hollow. So I wanted to make it more meaty, and that was my choice. I'm hoping that it doesn't bite me on the ass, but we'll see what happens.
I think that sounds like a great idea.
I hope so. It took a long time. It's still an absolute dumpster fire. Like, it's not good yet, but the story's getting better, so anyway. Are there any experiences within the book that are inspired by events that have actually happened to you in real life?
Yeah, slightly. I mean, again, I have no experience or any knowledge of professional killers or that kind of world. I have no knowledge of that. A lot of the characters, the two antagonists, so Burkan and Arif, are based on an actual father and son I used to work for in a restaurant.
Really?
So, yeah, I did mention it to them when I last saw them a couple of years ago. And said, by the way, I've done this. And they're like, oh, cool, thanks. So I did make sure to change the name, so there's no legal options, I think. But, and to stress as well, they have never done any of the things that's happened in the book.
Not a grown family. Okay, got it.
No, but when we worked together, because they were father owned the restaurant, son was manager of the restaurant. There were days when, as I'm sure with anyone who runs a business, they were ready to kill each other.
Yeah.
And there'd be me just sort of polishing the cutlery in the corner, going, "Okay, I'll just keep quiet over here while you two shout at each other." As in my head, thinking, "I need to ask for time off next week. When the hell do I step in and ask for that?" And then, I mean, yes, I took a lot of inspiration from the characters for those two. Again, hopefully they're okay with that if they've ever read the book. And I mean, things like the motorcycle chase. I used to ride motorbikes myself, only a 125 as well. And again, no one has ever tried to run me off the road, as far as I'm aware. But there were days, and I think anyone again who's ever ridden a bike has had those days when there's a big car just barreling down behind you. You think, no, come on, give me the space. Give me the space. So I sort of exaggerated that kind of thing and thought, yep, been there.
Do you find it easier to write the things that you've already experienced, or is it easier to just make stuff up?
It depends. If it's something that is an everyday occurrence or something that most people would have experienced, just simply like driving, working late, or something going on, then that's almost harder because you need to make it believable. And for someone who may either have experienced it themselves or work in that particular industry to go, yeah, okay, no, that seems about right. I can believe that. Whereas if it's something that has never happened, although there again has to be that element of realism, you kind of can play around with it more and think, okay, yeah, then this could happen because who knows really if how it would work. So let's just go for it.
We've talked a lot about your writing so far, and I'm very curious to know what sorts of books you like to read.
So, like I said before, similar to the kind of book I've written, I do like action adventures. So, a series I've been reading for over 10 years now is the Ben Hope series by the authors Scott Mariani, if I've said his name right. And they're some of my favourite books. The main character is Ben Hope, this character, former SAS soldier, now works in kidnap and ransom, and it's really fun books because obviously these action elements, but there's also a lot of globe trotting. So it's, I think, like almost the simplest one. I know if anyone's read it, they're probably screaming, "No, that's wrong." But imagine taking some of the spy and army elements of the Jason Bourne franchise and mix it with the globe trotting archaeological. That word I can't say. Archaeological. Whatever Indiana Jones is.
Yes, Indiana Jones-esque.
Yes. So there's a lot of, sometimes there's like this particular artifact or this person's gone missing. Those are fun books, but I used to read a lot of horror when I was a teenager in my younger days, so a lot of Stephen King, of course. My dad lent me a book called The Terror, which was a TV series as well recently. That is a terrifying book because it's about like, it's that thick, and it's based on an actual British naval two ships. One of them was called the Terror, and as they tried to sail through the Antarctic, and then for a long time, no one suddenly's like, they've gone, everyone's dead. What's happened? So this person took, actual historical facts and then added this horror element into it. And it was just really good. Oh, what the hell is that?
Oh, thanks for the recommendation.
Read that; it's really good. And then, like, a friend of mine recommended, because you watch the films for years. I've read Jurassic Park not long ago. What a book! That's a great book. Terrifying compared to the movie.
Good. I have only just recently found out it was a book, and I'm mortified because I had the Jurassic Park theme as my walking down the aisle song at my wedding.
No, that's amazing.
And I didn't know it was a book.
I tell you what, this will annoy you. I learned this fact. The book hadn't even been published yet, and yet Universal, they obviously got wind of it. You're right. Oh, this sounds interesting. We want to make it into a movie. Here's $7 million. So, okay. So the book had not even been officially released, and already a movie studio saying, we want to turn it into a movie, have all this money.
I wonder if that caused the book to be drowned out by the hype of the movie.
Possibly, yeah. Actually, I never thought of it like that. Possibly, yeah, because it's not very different. The core story is still the same, and a lot of the elements, and apparently the new Jurassic World movie will take some of the scenes from that book and put them into this, which is cool. But I mean, like I can't remember the character, who gets the spit on his face. That in the book is just horrifying. It is worth exactly. Read it. It's an amazing book. But I was reading it going, whoa, glad they didn't put that on the screen. Ooh.
Damn, I'm so excited about this. I haven't heard a review or like a recommendation about it. I just saw the cover and thought, is that the same thing? That's amazing.
Yeah.
I thank you for the 2 book recommendations that I've written down. I'm so excited to read them. So yeah, it does seem like you are absolutely writing books that you would love to read. And it definitely I know I said this before, but it definitely comes across that you really enjoyed writing Loose Ends, because even before we sort of properly crossed paths, I could tell how enthusiastic you are about this story. So it's very cool, and it is very apparent.
Thank you.
If you're listening to this and you like action-packed stuff, Loose Ends is the book for you, because it's excellent, and it's not like a brick either. I love shorter books because then I feel accomplished when I finish it. Sometimes, like, I haven't read all of these Sherlock Holmes books.
Oh yeah, there's those.
That's really fat, and also it's like a really old version, so I don't want to.
Is that the complete works?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got one. I've got not that edition, but I have one the same. And I think I got about halfway through it. And it's like, there's too much.
I get fatigue when I'm reading, and especially if it's. I mean, thankfully with Loose Ends, it's got so much action that I didn't get bored. But there are some times where I get that it's for the atmosphere, but I'm like, let's keep it snappy and give me some violence. Otherwise, you're gonna lose me.
This will make me sound like a hypocrite when we talked about not saying anything bad about other work, but that's why I couldn't finish Lord of the Rings.
It's okay. It's okay.
I can't.
They are very long.
I think it's like they're walking through a forest. There's some trees. Still talking about the trees. With 5 pages, and we're still in the tree.
There's a big difference between being mean about something and recognizing that that's something that you don't enjoy in a book.
Yeah, so I've tried twice. I gave it a good hard try, and I just can't finish Lord of the Rings. And I'm sorry to everyone who loves those books. Did
you enjoy the films?
Oh, of course, yeah. Who wouldn't?
Okay, we can still be friends then. That's fine. I was just
We won't talk about The Hobbit, though.
That's fine. That's fine. We could do that off camera. Okay, so we talked about your writing. We've talked about the kind of books that you like. I am nosy, and I would like to know a bit more about book 2 if you're able to give me any information. Obviously, be careful about spoilers, and it is still in the teasing stages.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, it's not officially finished yet. We're still in the third draft I'm on now, but it follows on after book 1. I think if I can remember my own work, it's about 6 months later, possibly longer. I need to check that. That'll be something to note through. But it's set in Paris, and Matthew is now working his way along the line that is the criminal organisation that he used to work for in London are connected to. So there's a chain moving up the ranks. So he's now found the next line because a mixture of I need to get to them before they get to me. And it's sort of, obviously, he's been living in France for just nearly a year now, who he's met, how he's interacted with them, and then how some side characters are drawn into the events of the book. So again, there's some side characters that will be joining in. There are some big action pieces as well through the city, and hopefully I've done Paris justice in how I've described it, and hopefully it feels authentic. And if and when it comes out, hopefully people will enjoy it as much as Loose Ends.
What do you mean if it comes out?
Oh no, it's going to come out.
It better come out. My grandma's going to have my head on a platter if I don't encourage you to get this next book out. She'll be fuming. I told you before, she keeps asking me about it.
Oh, I love her.
I keep saying that she's listening to every episode of this and she's been slacking, but I know for a fact that she'll jump straight to this episode. She's going to ignore the other ones that she's missed.
She's the number one fan.
So we already know that you have a plan for this 6-book series.
Yes.
I'm curious to know, have you got any thoughts on creating something different in a different world? Have you got any other ideas sort of floating out there that you'd like to engage with?
Yeah, I've spit around an idea, very basic idea. I'd love to do a whodunit, but I love a whodunit, like either a movie or a story. It's just I think that would have to take. I'd need to give a lot of time to figure out how it happened and how to make it a mystery and then figure it out, because that would be something that's not something I could quickly spit out. That would take a lot of planning. And when you say that loud, I'm planning a murder. Wait, no, I can't. Yeah, I would love to write a good whodunit. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Well, hopefully that's on the cards for you. You must finish the series first.
Yes.
Unless you run out of creative steam. I'm not here to tell you how to do your craft, but please don't leave me on a cliffhanger. It'll upset me.
No, I would never do that. Have you read, the horror film The Ring, the Japanese one? Have you read the book?
There's a book?
Oh, here we go.
There's another book for me to... Okay.
If you don't like cliffhangers, that ends on a cliffhanger.
Does it ever get resolved in another book?
The good thing I loved about it was it had this great setup to the point I was like, I could be exhausting. I need to go to sleep, but no, I need to find out what's going on with the videotape. Where's the girl? What's happening? And then it just suddenly it stopped me. Hang about. And there's just a message saying, to find out more, buy book 2. What do you mean buy book 2? I was like, that's not an ending.
Oh, that's a shame.
So I probably should buy book 2 and find out what happens, but I didn't do that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll prepare myself for potential disappointment. That's okay.
Throw it out the window.
No, I think you did a good job of leaving loose ends tied up nicely. See what I did there?
Ah, very good.
Where you kind of allowed the reader to go, oh, what's going to happen next? But you're not like, oh, for goodness sake, this is in the middle of something.
Yeah, I thought of it like as the Star Wars ending. So the very first Star Wars film. It ends. It could have a sequel, but if it hadn't been successful, it was its own. It could work as a standalone. And that's what I think. For me, I like that in a book. It could lead on, but at the same time, I won't be gutted if they say, well, we're not going to do any more, or that was it.
I think it gives the reader time to recover a little bit as well. I think in this day and age, people like to consume things at a rapid pace. I can't sit down and watch an episode of something. I have to watch the whole series and fester in my underpants. And then when it's over, I then recover from that. And I'm very similar with books. I hate having to wait years for a book. So sometimes I'll wait until there's like a couple in a series before I start it, because I don't want that sadness and emptiness inside when I finish a book and I have to wait, and then I forget about it. And then like it's out of my mind and I don't think about it anymore, and then the next one comes out and then I lose my mind.
No, I'd had that with Harry Potter, because I avoided it for, and I can't remember why. I just had no interest when it first came out, and then I think by the time the 4th book came out, my sister lent me the 3rd one because we were on holiday and I'd finished my books and said, well, I've got this if you want to read it. I was like, all right, fine. I mean, starting in book 3, I was a bit lost of what was going on. But I thought, okay, I'll give these a go. And by that point, I thought, oh, great, I've got 4 books to catch with. And then, the 5th one's out. Good, I'm not having this massive wait. And then eventually I caught up and did, as you said, you have to wait a few years or time for them to finish off. But yeah, that was a good way to get into the series, just plough through them all.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember reading them when I was a kid, And regardless of the author's standing in the world right now, we're talking about past Saf and when she was a child. So don't come at me. So I remember just the excitement of the next book coming out. And when I think it was The Goblet of Fire came out, and I think I got it in hardback, and it was like my first hardback book, and it was the best feeling because they feel so special.
Oh, they do, yeah. I was on a big family holiday, like there was cousins, all of us, and when the last book came out, and we were flying on the day it was released. Mm-hmm. So as we walked past the Smiths, and it was like, we have the last Harry Potter, so I think we bought amongst us 3 copies, and we were away for, I think it was a week or 10 days. It was a long holiday, but at one point these books were just being passed around because someone would disappear, or they're reading the Harry Potter book. Okay, great. Then they'd come back and say, all right, who's next? And you would then disappear for a couple of days to plough through it. And then those who'd read it, sort of been going, I want to talk about it, but we can't because not everyone's read it yet. So we had to sort of wait, but we all just vanished to finish. And as you said, enjoy the books. I do not agree with the author's views on those topics. Mm-hmm. They are not a reflection of me. Again, if you've read the book, you know that it's an LBGT character plus. Mm-hmm. Sorry. So, but enjoy the work, not the creator.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't need to get into a philosophical grave dig, but yeah, the whimsy of having your first hardback book as a kid is probably one of the coolest things ever.
Oh yeah, couldn't tell you what we did have Goblet of Fire in hardback, so it might have been that one, but yeah, there's something about I personally, as an adult now, paperbacks are easier and softer to carry. But yeah, that first time you get hardbacks can look like such beautiful books.
I will say, as an adult, I cannot abide a hardback. I have to have like all of the books that I don't know if you can see how ropey they look. Like all the books that I've read, don't know where I'm pointing. The spines are broken. I will not have an aesthetically pleasing, perfectly edged is not the right word. Like perfect edges on my books.
Well, then it shows love. I know 2 people who are the opposite end of that spectrum. One of them was, can't have a crease in the spine, won't fold the pages. It's got to look pristine to the point where I said, "Oh, can I have a look at that?" And I was opening it. Like, don't. So, what? You're going to wreck it. I'm just going to put your book down. I'll leave it alone. But then, my uncle, you could lend him a book for, you could say, "Oh, could you go pass me that book over across the room?" And by the time he's picked it up, brought it to you, suddenly it's faded, it's torn, pages are falling out. What did you do, man? So he will read a book to the point where it's like, did you have an argument with the book? What did you do?
That's so funny. This particular copy, okay, it's peeling.
Oh,
because it's been loved. It's been read and enjoyed and loved. That's what we like to see.
Whereas this one, I think you could sort of, it'll creak. I don't know
It'll break the spine. It's perfect. But yeah, I just think books are there to be enjoyed, but I completely understand why people want to have that's not happening anymore.
No, yeah, I mean, you can't do the same.
If it falls, we're nearing the end. It fell. It just got another dent in it.
Let's hope that's not a metaphor for anything.
It's not. It's a wonderful book, and you need to buy it if you haven't. Read it if you haven't already.
Look at that.
Okay.
Just to clarify as well, that's not me on the cover. I have to stress that. People keep asking me that question.
That would have been really, really disrespectful if it was. I'm glad it's not you on the cover. Oh, dear. This has been a really fun episode. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been such a pleasure, and it's been interesting to get to know the author behind a book that I really, really enjoyed. So thank you so much for being here today.
Well, no, thank you for having me and saying such kind things. It means the world. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Before I let you leave, where can our listeners find you and your work? Not your house address, just like online and stuff.
They'll give you my exact details. So I am on all forms of... I'm just going to get them up on the screen here. So I can't remember my own ads or whatever they call them now. So I am on everything except TikTok because I do not understand TikTok. I'm close to 40 now. I've passed that one. But I am on Twitter, as we're calling it. Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky at OWH Author. So you can find me there, or just search Loose Ends. The book is available online. You can go to Austin Macaulay's website directly, or Amazon, Waterstone Smith, Barnes and Nobles for our American friends. It's everywhere. I mean, I saw there was a website in France selling it. I had no idea about that.
Go on, Globetrotter.
Well, I don't think I'm bad to say that. I was just sort of, wonder where I can find it. Googled it, and then suddenly, France. Nice.
You're preparing France for book 2.
Oh, God. I dread to think someone might read it and go, the hell is this? Has he even been here before? And I have been to Paris. I've done my best.
If anybody says that, just go, it's a fantasy book, don't worry about it. I made it up. Paris isn't real.
It's a different version of the city. Have you never been before?
It's a different Paris. It's pronounced differently.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway. Thank you again for being here today. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to the next installment of your series.
Thank you very much.